Greetings. I'm Cynthia Hewitt, professor of sociology and political economy, and director of the Institute for Comparative Labor Studies at Morehouse College. And I want to talk a little bit about labor. People of color, and primarily African heritage people, live primarily in the South, and over 65% of our population is in the South. And it is the South that has not stepped up to allow working people to organize themselves in the way that is needed to preserve their well-being. So African Americans are particularly impacted by labor relations development in the South. Unions play a tremendous role in the life of the black working class. In fact, if we look into history, we find that Coretta Scott King had barely left her husband's side after his passing when she took up her place in front of the important health care workers' demonstrations that were taking place in Charleston, South Carolina. And we can go back from that and we can take a look at what happened during the Garvey era, and you find that someone like Marcus Garvey got his start by working with stenographers and working in the publishing unions. So I think everywhere you look, if we were to go international and think about Kwame Nkrumah was a member of the Maritime Workers Union. And it was through the maritime workers that word spread for the independence of all of Africa and the Caribbean. The biggest challenge that workers are facing today is the atomization of work. No longer is it the case that everybody works under one roof. When we work under one roof, we create community, and organizing is a lot more direct. Today, different functions are carried out and distributed across the economy. So we have to have different ways of organizing and coming together. The reason that a country such as China can offer products at a lower price is because they don't pay their workforce as much. But when you don't pay your workforce as much, you have to provide for their needs in social manners. So for instance, when health care is available to all workers through the government, then workers don't have to set aside money to buy their health care. When good education is available to every worker, then you don't have to set aside money to try to move into a neighborhood that has a good school and pay extra mortgage. The school in your neighborhood with your current home can be completely adequate. And I can go down the line on that to the extent that we as a society all take care of our working people so we don't have to inflate salaries or wages, because what we need becomes a social good. And I think that's the most important thing to think about as we move forward for working people. I would like the Morehouse community to remember what Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King said: all labor has dignity. What does that mean? That means that whenever you encounter someone doing work that's productive and supportive of you, whether you're in a stadium and they're serving you a hot dog, or whether you're picking up your children after school and you see someone sweeping the floors, you have to understand that all people need to be recognized in what they do. And what does that mean? That means that we see in them ourselves. So the how are you and the thank you very much and see you tomorrow, I think little things can make a difference in our ability to cross all of the class and status lines. I think Morehouse College is a particular place and point. We're all here to provide a good education, and we do it in many different ways. And I might point out the assistant professors, because they are making a sacrifice. They could go someplace to get more money, but they're here because of their love of education. So I think we can say that we have to make sure that we respect the wisdom, and we respect the giving of all of our members of the Morehouse community. You can find out about ICLS on the website, morehouse.edu.